Can you believe we've been in this car for over 12 hours? You believe this shit?
It feels like longer.
12 hours is a long time.
That is a long time.
That's just too long to just plant your ass and drive and talk.
That's like driving from New York almost to what? Georgia.
Yeah, I guess it is.
Yeah.
Kind of. New York to something.
Don't drop me off there.
Halfway to Florida.
Halfway to Florida, at least.
Fucking bullshit.
Maybe with a few breaks, to take a piss.
Yeah, how long does it take to piss, though? Like, you can keep driving.
Well, you gotta grab a bottle and go.
Yeah, just fucking stick a jar on your unit.
And my pee-pee. So what's blinking your 182 today?
I don't even know what the fuck that means, but you know what itches my ass? So many things
everything's
really
itching your ass.
itch my fucking
First
ass.
thing I always think is you need some freaking cream for that.
Cream? Like what?
You need
like
some
heavy cream?
Hemorrhoid cream.
Those are hemorrhoids? Those ass itches?
Yeah.
I thought they were parasites.
They're a pain in the... Well,
I thought they were hookworms.
You got worms?
I don't know. I mean, the ass itches, why would it be a hemorrhoid? Like, what's a hemorrhoid? Isn't that just like
a hemorrhoid?
A bulbous vein on the end of your tuchus?
Yeah.
Right in the hole?
Yeah, around the opening.
So why would that itch?
Because they get irritated.
Oh. They're kind of like me. I'm irritated a lot.
Exactly.
So like, it irritates all the way down right into
Everything
my
that's
black...
a pain in your ass is
my rubber donut.
That's why we call people hemorrhoids, because they're a pain in the ass.
I never called a person a hemorrhoid. That sounds like an interesting idea. Hey, you hemorrhoid. That sounds really good. That's a really good insult. That guy, you mean that hemorrhoid?
He's nothing but a hemorrhoid.
Right? And like if your name sounds like hemorrhoid?
Yeah.
Like what would
suck.
What would your name be that sounds like hemorrhoid?
If your last name
Henry,
is like,
Henry the hemorrhoid.
Henry Hamrod.
Helmholtz, Henry hemorrhoids.
Hem-oroid.
Right, hem-oroids. The Irish. Hemi.
Crazy.
Hemi-oroids.
Yeah, so I had to go to the doctor because I got another ear infection.
And what's with you and the ear infections? What are you listening to too much shit?
It's been in the car too long. I think I got some sort of structural deformity in my head that gives me ear infections easier. So I had it all my life.
Easier.
Since I was 0. So,
I used to get ear infections when I was young.
Yeah.
But, and then the last time I thought I had an ear infection, I went to a doctor saying, listen, I used to get these a lot. I swear to God, it's got to be an ear infection. They looked in there. They were like, there's nothing wrong with your ears. You probably have a really bad head cold. Your ears are clear. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. I don't have fucking ear infections no more. But I'll tell you, when I did get ear infections, you know what I used to do?
What?
To get them, I would always be accidentally pouring water into my fucking ears in the shower.
Oh.
So every time I'd go to the doctor, it'd be like a bad case of swimmer's ear, they call it.
Swimmer's ear. That's interesting.
So what happens is now I'm very sensitive to make sure that water doesn't get inside my ear. So if for some reason I think it fucking rolled in there, I make sure I shake it out because you don't know that you have it in there unless you shake it out. And sometimes if you shake them out each side, all of a sudden you'll notice all this fucking water just poured out, like at least like 20 milliliters of water or something. They'll get trapped up in there. And then the thing is, it's not the water that causes the problem. It's your basic like yeast / fungus microbiome in your body. So like if you eat too many sugars and too many carbohydrates and you have like a yeasty microbiome, you're gonna get that shit in your ear all the time. And God forbid you get anything in there. So like you have to stop eating any kinds of sugary things or things that turn into sugar. So luckily
that's an outer ear infection.
No, the outer goes into the middle, goes into the inner. All it is it doesn't fucking start in the middle.
There's 3 kinds of ear infections. There's outer ear infection. There's a middle ear infection.
That's what I just said.
There's the inner. But they are 3 different kinds.
Yeah, because they could.
If you're getting an infection because the water's getting in your ear, that's like an outer ear infection.
And then it could move to your brain. What is it? What is it called when it's in your brain? It's called a fucking brain infection. So all it is where's the infection?
Near death. That's called near death.
Right.
But your vector is external. It's water coming into the ear.
Yeah, so you know what it is when it's internal and there's nothing external? It means you got yeast and sugar in your body promulgating infection, so you need to change your diet.
Or you're getting mucus that's infected with bacteria trapped in your inner ear for structural reasons.
Yeah, but where's that mucus bacteria coming from? From your mouth, from your diet?
From a head cold.
Yeah, but you're not supposed to get a fucking ear infection that puts you out every time you get a head cold. Your immune system's fucked up.
If stuff's getting trapped in there, if it's structurally, because people have narrow eustachian tubes. That's
absolutely, but who gives a shit? Like your eustachian tubes work or they don't, Yeah. Like if you got clogged eustachian tubes all fucking life, then you'll know. If you don't, you don't. Yeah. Don't give a fuck if it's narrow.
That's typically what my problem has been. Because I was a swimmer and I never got swimmer's ear, but I get ear infections every time I get a cold.
Yeah, what you need to know is your immune system sucks, and you got too much yeast and fungus from sugar because yeast and fungus lives off sugar, and if you cut off sugar, they can't live and they won't promulgate. But yeah,
I've had them when I was eating healthy.
I can guarantee you right now you don't have a healthy diet. I can guarantee
I don't right now.
That's why you got it. Boom. End of story. So what's a healthy diet? You know what? When you go to get a fucking heart fucking surgery, the healthy diet that they tell you, oh, this is heart healthy, that's the same fucking diet that immediately gives you diabetes. Those people have no fucking clue. The fucking nutritionists in the hospital weigh 450 pounds. They're like, just don't eat salt.
That's irony.
They're like, don't eat salt, and here's a fucking blueberry muffin. This is heart healthy. So, like, you actually have to know yourself what the fuck is going on. Not like some douchebag with a stethoscope. Oh, you got a healthy diet. Yeah, but look at you. When was the last time you fucking ran down the block without panting? You know what I'm saying? So that kind of itches my ass.
That itches your ass.
But you know what else itches my ass?
Clearly that irritates your hemorrhoids.
Right. Whether it's parasites or not, I don't know. I heard that there's these things up there called hookworms. I was watching this podcast with some like really esoteric motherfuckers, and I was like, yo, this seems really funny. Let me see what these guys are talking. All of a sudden the guy started talking about parasites, and he was like, everyone has parasites and they don't even fucking realize it half the time. And then he says, when your asshole itches? And I was like, yo, he's going to go here? He's going to go here? And he's like, yeah, when your asshole itches, those are parasites.
Yeah, they're parasitic roundworms.
Yeah, so then he said, you know how you could tell if you got fucking asshole parasites, hookworms and shit? He said that when you go to sleep at night, if you have somebody that you live with, when you fall asleep, tell them to get a camera and fucking lift up your butt cheeks and shine up in there. And he says at night you can see them crawling around right on the edge of your fucking anal hole. And I was like, yo, this podcast is getting out of fucking control. I was like, I don't know if I want to listen to this shit.
I can't deal with that.
Isn't that crazy? And now we're talking about it.
Yeah.
This motherfucker, he just gave us ear parasites.
Isn't it crazy that like hookworms live in the soil, but somehow they end up in your ass?
Well, it's because we eat shit from the soil. Yeah.
It's gross. Actually, walking barefoot is a pretty common way.
Nice. So grounding. All these grounding motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Go ahead, ground. Next thing you know, you got fucking worms in your
Human
ass.
feces. You'll get, of course, once it's in your ass. It's
ask the internet. Ask Quora. Is that what this called? You ask Quora. You're like, hey, Quora. I've been grounding a lot. How come my asshole itches now? Well, it turns out that when you walk barefoot in the dirt a lot, you will get parasites in your ass. Oh, thank you, Quora.
That's crazy. I never had any worms or parasites
that you know of. The truth is, we all got them. What there is our immune system keeps them at bay. So, like, as soon as you drop dead, your whole body's a crawling parasitic fucking pile. As soon as you drop dead,
the percentage of us is more other things than it is us.
Yeah, isn't that wild? It's like you weigh
more bacteria, more viruses, more parasites in us than there is us.
Yeah,
that's sick.
When you stand on a scale, you think that's how much you weigh? No, that's how much most of your bacterias and parasites weigh.
That's right.
Disgusting.
And then the next giant percentage is freaking water.
Right.
What the hell?
Because you need something for the parasites to float in.
And if you get down to like the microscopic level or the atomic level,
oh shit,
most atoms are mostly space.
Well, that's the funny thing about atoms.
And then you got the electron, and they're space.
Right. But what's funny about atoms?
It's mind bending.
People always say that shit, but it's like funny how like I guess that's true on some weird level, but like no one's ever seen an atom. Still, we just talk about how they're just these things that we think they look like a certain way. No one's ever seen an atom. It's all theoretical. No one's seen a fucking actual electron. It's all theory.
There's methods. They use indirect methods of detecting them. Obviously, you can't see them with the naked eye. There's nothing.
I didn't say naked. I said we don't even have magnifying anything that you could see an atom. No one's seen an atom. They're just like, well, we think if we could go further, this is what we'll see. This is what we think it is. The atom.
The atom.
A weird thing. And then people think that like atoms are surrounded by electrons the same way like planets rotate around the sun.
It's just an easy way to visualize them, but the electron's actually a wave function. It's not an actual.
And like, what is that even? Like, that's not even a thing. Hey, do me a favor. You deliver a wave function to my house.
They describe it as like an electron. It's described as an electron cloud.
Yeah, so it's a cloud.
And it's like a cloud of.
It's a cloud that no one's seen.
Because you can't predict. You can either tell how fast the atom is moving, or you can tell its position, but you can't know both.
Well, like you can measure it supposedly where it is, right? So you're like, there it is in the cloud.
You can know one or the other. You can know its position or you can know its speed, but you can't know
but
both.
like, at least you can say, hey, there it is. Like, who cares how fast it went, right? At least you could spot it. You know what I mean? Like, that's the first thing you want.
Yeah.
So it's like a game. It's like a real sick game.
It is.
It's like a joke.
Going all the way back to the double slit experiment, and I'm not talking about threesomes.
2 slits.
Is that a threesome? A double slit experiment?
You heard about the woman who's got 2 vaginas? She's got 2 slits, yeah. Supposedly. You can look it up. The woman with 2 vaginas. She needs to go out with
the guy that's got two Johnsons.
2 Johnsons. Well, there's tons of guys who split.
4 balls.
There's tons of guys who cut their Johnsons in half and then they regrow as 2
I'm talking
dicks.
about the guy who's got 2 dicks.
Who's that guy? You know that guy?
He was born with 2 dicks.
That's interesting. Is he in your
4
neighborhood?
balls.
Where is that guy?
4 balls.
What's his name? He's got 4 balls?
He's probably a fucking porn star.
He should fucking find the lady with 2 vaginas. That's who that's for.
That's what I'm thinking.
Those 2 were born to go together. And then they should have kids with fucking 8 dicks and vaginas.
They each would have 2 vaginas and 2 balls.
Imagine
2 dicks and 4 balls.
Right? 4 balls. I wonder if he
genital circus down there.
I wonder if he could fuck 2 bitches.
Veritable potpourri.
You think he could have sex with 2 women and impregnate each of them?
I bet he could.
That's crazy. You'd have to have a long enough dick to do that, though. You can't have 2 short dicks and pull that off unless you had like a Rube Goldberg machine to deliver the sperms.
He pulled this string, flipped this lever.
Look on the Tom and Jerry cartoon to fucking get the sperms in there.
That's crazy. Oh my God.
This
is off the rails. This is way off the rails now.
Yeah, it's because we started talking about ass parasites, I think.
As soon as you start talking about asses and hemorrhoids,
then you go into
just evolves.
Atoms and wave functions, and then forget it. Right from there, it's like the worst thing in the world.
Right to the genitalia.
Right straight to fucking the impossible crazy shit. The guy with 2 dicks.
The man with two balls.
Speaking of crazy, the guy who was talking about his fascination with ass parasites, there's like a bunch of weirdo podcasts where they talk about like what do you call that shit? New agey, right? New agey spirituality type shit. Like there'd be motherfuckers that come out of the woodwork and they're like, I work with the Akashic records. And it's like, okay, what the fuck is that? And then like as soon as like you watch one of those podcast videos, then you realize there's like 30 motherfuckers. They're all filing through the Akashic records, you know? It's like, wow, everybody can access this shit. So you start watching this shit. You know what you realize real quick? Every one of these motherfuckers is full of shit. That's the first fucking thing you realize. You're like, oh, but wait a minute. Let me keep listening. Maybe I'm the one who didn't get it yet. No, not only do you realize, this person's full of shit, before you actually come to that conclusion, the first thing you're thinking is, I think this person might have lost his or her fucking mind. You're like, this person is nuts. And then you're like, well, okay, they're full of shit too, and they're nuts.
Yeah.
And they're all Akashic Records people. But the reason why I talk about this, dude, check this out. So I've been thinking about when you dip into this realm of these spirituality people, they're just like me and you. They're like regular ass people, but then they start talking about weird shit if you just let them, you know, and then they start talking about, oh yeah, that one time I died and then I saw the future.
Is there a certain phrase you can say to them that winds them up and gets them going, and then you can just sit there and listen to them go on?
I don't know. You just let them talk.
You're like a question. Yeah, but there's like a prompting question like, hey, you know, where do you stand on religion or
no, you don't know where do you stand. Fuck that. That's like
well, I'm asking if there's a way to prompt them and to get them to start talking.
Well, usually you already know that these people are like one of these afterlife, before life people, which is fine. It's just that the stories that they tell you, you're like, no, that's not, you're crazy. Like I was ready to believe you.
Because that's how I discover these people. Exactly that. You'll be talking to them, you'll be talking along, and you're talking about normal shit, and then all of a sudden they'll say that one thing, and that little thing goes off in your head. Oh,
like usually, like what?
You're out of your fucking mind.
But like, what is that one thing? Usually,
just in the middle of the conversation. Who knows? It's they'll say that one off the wall thing. Yeah, you just know. It's like, oh, wait a minute. This person's out of their fucking mind.
Right. So, like, what's a perfect example?
And now they're going to tell them, and now they're going to show me just how out there they are.
Like, let's say you're with your kids, and your kids are young, and you're fucking at some fucking playground with other parents with all their kids, and you're like, yeah, we're all parents. We all hang out together. Yeah. And then, like, one
perfect
of them,
scenario.
Like, what do they do? Like, what is it that they say where you're like, oh, shit, this motherfucker's off his or her fucking rocker now?
Right.
Like, what is some of the shit that they say?
Well, you know, you're talking along and you know, suddenly they mention, you know, like a certain crystal cured them of some shit.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Like I had my amethyst and suddenly my balls got bigger and stronger.
You know what that is? Or, that's like
you know, I shoved a fucking quartz crystal up my ass, and now I got kids.
And now I got quartz parasites.
I was impotent, and then I shoved some quartz up my ass, and now I have 5 kids.
Now I can't live without that thing in my ass.
That's right. I replaced my quartz crystal.
Yeah, I could see week. That. Those crystal people, the crystal sniffers, they call them.
Crystal people, crystal sniffers.
You know what those crystal sniffers usually do? Oh, this is how I could tell. Oh, this is a good topic. I'm glad we ran into this. You know what? So
we ran headlong into this. the airbags fucking went off on this one.
Ass parasites to crystal sniffers to this.
How are we going to even title this episode?
This is how you know though. Usually they have clothes. Where you're like, yo.
Oh yeah,
I should have fucking known, you know, because they look like
the necklace and the bracelets.
It's not just that, you know. Sometimes if they get real serious, they want to like stand out from beyond the crowd. They don't want to just look like one of them fucking Grateful Dead fucking motherfuckers.
Oh, it's important.
What they do is they start wearing weird shit where you're like, where did you even get that? Like shit that looks like they were on Star Trek. You're like, that's like a collar. It's like a fucking collar that goes up with like a little V in it. And then like the shoulders might be kind of tailored. And then like the shirt goes all the way down with no buttons or something. And then they got like floppy fucking genie pants and fucking flip-flops. And you're like,
sandals.
Oh shit. And then look, he's got a crystal or like a silver wound something. With like a fucking
Jesus sneakers and at least some accessory that's got a feather on it.
Oh, and then they got like all kinds of bracelets and shit, right?
Bracelets.
Oh God, you know what I hate? Like I don't even know if this is those people, but you notice like a lot of motherfuckers be wearing bracelets to like kind of just fucking show you some shit but never mention it. And like I'm just looking at them and I go, just ignore the bracelet. Ignore them. Don't say nothing. Ignore the bracelet.
You actively decide in your mind, I am not asking about the bracelets.
Yeah, because they're like a thing that
you don't
like,
want to get into it.
You got to put that on like purposely and never take it off. Like when shithead fucking band people, usually drummers, all of a sudden they have like leather wristbands, and you're like, what is that for, man? Like, what are you doing with those? Just those are my things. And you're like, for what though? And they don't know.
You can usually. One way to identify some folks is that, because that the Reiki stuff.
Yeah, that stuff. And that's tied into what I'm going to get to. But we can talk about Reiki a little. Those motherfuckers are the weirdest.
You want to talk about, anecdotal claims with zero evidence.
Dude, they smell like patchouli all the time.
People are going to hate this podcast, but fuck them.
No, you
don't tell me that your magic whatever is anything other than perceived.
This is what it is.
Wow.
Reiki is real, and it really does do the stuff. But you know what it does? It's all placebo effect. Which is real. That shit is real. So,
of course.
The thing that people don't understand, and this is funny how like science and like fucking medicine, they discount the placebo because they can't work with it. But what placebo is if you have faith, like what religion tells you to have faith. You know how they're like, you have to believe, you have to have faith. Like if you believe in the thing that's going to give you the placebo effect, you will somehow magically and miraculously create an effect that is totally unexpected.
You'll manifest what
you will heal yourself. Like you can actually fucking heal cancer if you fucking believe it enough. And that's the placebo effect. And they're like, fuck, that happened. They're like, fuck, a miracle happened in the laboratory. Throw that out. So that's what Reiki is. Like the person who's doing the Reiki didn't do nothing.
Right.
The person.
That's my point.
Right. Exactly.
They're like a Reiki practicer and they're healing other people. I'm like, no, you're really good at convincing someone to believe in something.
Which is, if you understand that's what you're doing, that's good. Yeah.
But don't sugarcoat it with crystals and bullshit.
No, if you're a conduit and you're like, I don't do anything, it's, it just goes through me and you actually fucking heal people, well, like, good for you. But that's all it is. But so this is what this reminds me of.
They get so upset when you tell them this stuff, though.
You know what the mega red flag of all, I shouldn't say all, but like a lot of these motherfucking, what did I call these motherfuckers? They were, Akashic Records type sons of motherfuckers, right? These motherfuckers, they all do fucking yoga. So that's the red flag when motherfuckers say shit like, I'm a yoga teacher. And you're like, oh, fuck. Yeah, of course you are. Of course
They've never been anywhere near the Eastern culture.
Dude, this shit cracks me up.
They're expert yoga people.
Look, this is what cracks me up. And a lot of time they're women. So like in America or even fucking in all of North America, let's say. Let's include Canada too, right?
Sure.
They're all fucking women. And the thing about this yoga shit, it's fucking insane. I swear to God, I gotta look this up. Hold on, let me see if I can find something.
Make Jamie look it up.
Yeah, hey Jamie, look up the yoga business. Look up the business with this yoga. All right. So the thing about yogis is when you meet them, like we already talked about this. It's all about what kind of pants they got. Like if you're a woman, it's all about what your pants you're gonna wear. Like if you wear a certain kind of pants, you gotta have yoga pants. Like you're not doing yoga unless you bought hundreds and hundreds of dollars worth of these yoga pants or whatever the fuck that is, right?
Right.
But like when you think about yoga, like where does it come from? You just mentioned the East, right? This shit is from India, right? Can women even do yoga in India? Like, serious question. Like, think about that.
Don't know.
Have you ever thought of that?
That's interesting.
Yeah. Hey, Jamie, look that up. Jamie's going to look that up. So, and then isn't that a fucking religion, though, in India? Isn't that fucking yoga shit like a religion? Like, you can't do yoga without doing Hinduism. you know? So there's all kinds of fucking problems here. So.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure that women in India can do yoga.
You'd think they could, right?
Yeah.
I mean in America, you hope. I don't know if I would even say sure. So check this out. Like, because you want to say, okay, there's all these yoga people over here. But do you ever ask yourself how you do it in India? Because I don't know if you realize this. All these yogis that they like, all these Westerners they like study from, they're all men. They're only men. So like, if fucking women are gonna be good at it, and trust me, women could be really fucking good at some shit. Right? For real. Like if women could do yoga, how come there's no fucking female yogini? You know what I'm saying? That everybody's like, oh, what about this one? You know?
Yeah, it's probably cultural. I mean, women are suppressed all over the world.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is,
so I mean,
that's
you
where
won't
yoga,
find that just because
yoga comes from that. So it's like, you think it's any different now? You think they got fucking feminism over there in full effect?
No,
exactly.
No.
And then
you know what another good indicator that you're in trouble talking to somebody is if they got anything Lululemon.
Well, yeah, that's yoga pants. That's what it is.
That's yoga shit.
And it's like
and a whole bunch of stuff.
But it's like the worst choice
leggings, tops,
of a yoga person is to go, I'm going to go to the fucking store where all the shit is $700. I'm going to go there where motherfuckers can't even eat over in fucking India and they bathe in the shit bacteria parasite river. But I'm going to buy these yoga pants that cost $100 at least, right? That ain't fucking yoga, bro. Like, what are you doing?
It's just, that's commercial yoga.
But you know what's funny? Do you know what Pilates is?
I remember Pilates, yeah.
You do? So, like, you know that Pilates.
I remember that.
I don't know. Like, when I hear Pilates, you know where that comes from? People only in California say that. Nobody in the East says that they do Pilates. So if you hear someone say Pilates, they came from California. That's what it is. So like,
they're named after a guy, right?
Who's probably from California, Mr. Pilates.
I don't know where he's from, but they're named after a guy.
I can guarantee what clothes he's wearing, though.
Some dude, Lululemon.
He's probably wearing like a fucking linen fucking flowing Star Trek suit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
With like fucking longish, like fucking Rick Springfield hair. You know what I'm saying? But so my question is Pilates just the same thing as fucking yoga, just without all the sex cult stuff? You know, because it's a sex cult. Like, there's only dudes doing it, and then there's women in there, they're skin tight, read my lips pants, and then they fucking put their ass in the air and then bend their legs behind their head. And then the guy that you worship comes over and then he fucking sticks his fingers right in your fucking yoni. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, that's what yoga is. It's a sex cult. And then like you get fucking like, oh shit, or you're like, ooh, give it to me, honey.
Yeah.
So like that's yoga. So check this out.
That's rapey.
Now look. So Jamie it's very rapey. That's the exact correct word for that.
I wonder how it's been perverted though, because I mean Pilates was
not Pilates. I mean yoga. Pilates is fine.
Yeah,
I think Pilates is not rapey.
But I wonder how Pilates has been twisted because that's old. I mean,
what do you mean? I don't think it's twisted. I think Pilates is just exercise. It's like those commercials with Chuck Norris.
But you know how Americans are. They'll turn it into some shit.
But he's an American. What I'm saying is he's some crazy American who probably made up Pilates.
Joseph Pilates was from Germany.
Oh, shit. So he didn't do that here? He didn't emigrate here and do it?
He came here. He moved to New York City in like the 20s or something.
Okay.
And that's when he kind of refined the whole thing. And then he died in like 67.
And did he go to California to die?
No, I'd have to look it up.
Because it sounds like fucking wherever the fuck
I think he came to like New York first.
But it seems like...
Which is shocking, which would be shocking.
But like nobody in New York ever talks about Pilates, you know?
No, that's why I say Pilates probably is not very similar to what he used to teach because by the time it got perverted by California people.
It's really interesting. Yeah, those new age
fuckers.
The motherfuckers that opened them health restaurants.
You talk to anybody who's like, oh, Pilates, that's a modern thing. And it's like, no, this dude developed this shit ages ago. And you just are listening to California.
Here, let me read you something about yoga.
What did What did Jamie find?
So basically, if you look up, can women do yoga in India, right? You'll come up on this fucking page that's like they're like trying to carry the torch for it's not true that women are fucking subjugated, right? So you get up, listen to this. Tell me how many fucking Weasley words you can find in this fucking paragraph here.
Here we go.
Women in yoga history, right?
Uh-oh.
The Weasley words to lie about yoga being female Westerners, right? So the quote here I got is, walk into almost any yoga asana class, and you may notice is that the overwhelming majority of students are women. For at least some of yoga's history, okay, some, all right, now what the fuck is that, right? Practice was the purview of men, they say. And women were expected to focus on home life. So there it is. They already sealed the deal. Now let's see where they take it, though. But contrary to a long-standing myth, historical evidence shows that in some circles, what the fuck is that? Some circles. Women have been yoginis all along. What a crock of shit. Show me the fucking evidence, all right? Let's see what else they got here. Popular yoga lore claims that yoga's male leaders did not allow women to practice until about 50 years ago. There is, in fact, historical evidence that the Vedic tradition discouraged women from practice and didn't allow them to become priests.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not surprised.
But depending on how you define yoga, here we go, Bill Clinton, depends what your definition of is. But depending on how you define yoga, it's not accurate to say that women could not practice. So they need to change definitions to uphold their bullshit story about women in yoga in India.
What was Jamie's source on that?
I don't know. I don't know what the fuck that is. You just fucking type in what I said.
Google
type in women could not practice yoga in India. Yeah. You'll come up with the Weasleyest fucking thing there.
Yeah. I just, I wonder what the world would have been like if the oppression of women had just not been a thing anywhere. Can you imagine how different the world would be?
Well, it's not the oppression of women.
In all the countries.
Dude, women can do whatever the fuck they want. It's just that men can't do what women do. So women have to choose. It's not oppression. Yeah. Only in this fucking country is it considered oppression. But it's like, how the fuck is that oppressive? It's almost like if you look at yoga here, are we going to say we're oppressing men? Because there's hardly any men.
I'm speaking more generally, like the way women have been oppressed over the centuries.
Oppressed how, though? You know what I mean?
Oh, well, pick a subject, women were expected to be in the home cooking and cleaning.
And what's wrong with that, though? Of course they were, because they were making fucking babies and cooking and cleaning. While the dude was the only one working, the woman wasn't even working. So now the thing is, the woman has had to enter the workforce. So that's already fucked up. So now just to fucking live, you need both motherfuckers working. So now the woman's got to have fucking more rights and freedoms that they think that she didn't have. So now it's like, it's considered, what do we call that in this country? Women's women's independence.
You're talking from a United States perspective, yeah.
Well, what other perspective I got? I'm going to talk about Genghis Khan.
How are women treated in Iran?
Well, that's what I'm asking you. Pick one. You know what I'm saying? And you know what? They're still treated how they're treated in Iran. There's no fucking... You want to be a feminist right now? Go to fucking Iran. That's where the feminism needs to be done. It needs to happen. It's done over here. We don't need feminism here, right? Exactly.
Well...
But why? What is it about Iran, right? It's the religion and it's the culture. So if you're all in, I was just having a discussion with a friend of mine. If you're Muslim, right? Can you be a liberal? Can you like gays if you're a Muslim?
Right. Nope.
No, you can't. It's actually fucking impossible. So you got to pick one. Otherwise, gays have to be murdered if you're a Muslim, right? So just pick any liberal topic.
Stoned.
Right. And if you want, if you don't want to say Muslim, well, then why don't you just say Orthodox Jew while you're at it? I mean, how the fuck is that any different, right? Read the fucking Talmud, what it says about gay people, right? You want to be liberal, then you got to ask how liberal are you going to be, right? Go to fucking Iran. What does their fucking religion allow, right? But, I don't want to get heavy-handed with the shit. I'm just saying yoga really fucking, like, these people, like, that's like the red flag. They wear them Lululemons, and next thing you know, they're talking about the Akashic fucking records, and it's a fucking business. You call these motherfuckers. I
still don't know what that is.
Exactly. I don't think they do either. You could listen to these motherfuckers, and they're just like, ever since I've been reading the records, what the fuck records are you, where are you, how are you doing this?
Dum, da, dum, dum, dum.
And then they're saying how it's like, it's not easy, it's so hard, it's so involved. But you know what they do? I'll give you an example since you asked, and I actually watched one of these fucking things. You know what this one bitch does? She's got like friends who are like, hey, you can tap into those Akashic records, right? Can you help me out? I can't find my wallet.
Oh, Jesus
So
Christ.
she says that
What the fuck?
the fucking Akashic records, because of the way it operates, you can actually use it for that, even though that's like the stupidest thing in the world. Because apparently she says that when you go into the Akashic records, it tells you everything that is and how it is. So if you do it according to a certain person and what you're looking for, you'll find the fucking answer. So this fucking bitch couldn't find her wallet. Then this other bitch said, oh, Jesus, I got to do this. All right, I'll do it. She told her where the fuck her wallet is, and she found it. You believe this shit?
No, I don't.
Neither do I.
I literally
Neither
don't.
do I.
That is my answer. No, I don't.
Yeah, well, you know what?
I just don't.
She's got another one for you. Anecdotal, right? She said the same motherfucker couldn't find her credit card one day, so she asked her, really nice, could you look in the Akashic records for me?
Look in the records.
She told her, she's like, listen, all right.
Who's writing the records? Where do these records come from? Who's writing these records? Who's keeping track of every single thing
supposedly
that happens?
they're like automatically written.
Wouldn't that be like tapping into God who knows everything?
I mean,
that would be tapping into some supreme being that just knows everything
that's not
at all
what
points
it
in
is.
time.
It's just like,
well, you'd think that's what it is.
No,
I mean, that's
you
what it
wouldn't
would have
think
to
that.
be.
That's the naive way to look at it, because you have to
I mean,
define God first, the same way these motherfuckers with the yoga. It depends how you define what yoga is. It's like you have to define God, you know? Like most people can't even give an accurate definition of God. Like these super atheists, like the Sam Harris fucking fool who's like carrying the fucking torch of atheism. The reason why he's so against God and he's such an atheist is because he can't even define God correctly, so that his little brand of atheism works within his realm. You know what I mean? His atheism is like the actual religion of I hate God. And it's like, well, have fun with that. Like your definition of God is stupid, you know? Of course you should hate God. It's like your definition of God is what a 7-year-old thinks God is in fucking school, and like everybody believes that. Like you just sound like a stupid idiot. Just say you hate God. It's fine. You don't have to.
People are looking to authority figures to define God.
Yeah, but God is here's the funny thing.
Look to
you nailed
imam.
it. You fucking nailed it, bro.
They're looking
God
to
God is not an authority figure.
Right.
And as soon as you think it's got to be an authority figure, you've lost the script, bro.
Right.
And then you're like, who the fuck knows where you're going?
I would not rebel against a God who was not an authority figure.
Dude, yeah, it's like, well, who's a bigger authority figure? Just pretend God doesn't exist. Now you got to contend with the weather. Just contend with the weather. That's bad enough. The fucking weather will flood you into non-existence. Don't even worry about God. You know what I'm saying? It's not an authority figure. But yeah, this is a good crazy talk we had today. Fucking 40
we really
minutes,
went everywhere.
Bro.
We were just swerving all over the road.
13 hours today.
Holy shit.
Keep our fucking eyes on the road.
Keep your fucking eyes on the road.
Exactly.